Hey, you guys. You know what time it is again. It's time for us to get spooked, guys.
Whoa, spooky season.
It's so spooky, you guys. We're living the truth. We're living justice.
We're living the American
We're
dream.
the American dream every week, you guys. You know who it is. It's your boys again. Back in the studio. Back on YouTube or wherever the shit things are.
Yep. YouTube, at least.
At least, right?
Yeah.
Where else do you put stuff? Isn't it on like
it's on Yanrube.
Yanrube
What were
or
you saying?
Vimeo or whatever?
Yeah, there's Vimeo.
Is that something that people do?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're gonna be on Vimeo too.
Yeah, it's Vimeo.
Put us on Vimeo. We
Uncle
got our
Vinny's
OnlyFans
Vimeo.
up and running now too.
Yeah, we're on OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. It's where me and Gabe are on the fence on all topics.
Yeah, we just can't pick a side. Just like, son of a bitch. I don't know.
It makes for good podcasting. I just don't know. But anyway, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Are you asking them?
Oh, yeah, it was. That doesn't work.
Yeah, we should wait to hear what they say.
That doesn't work in an audio or a visual medium.
No, not especially.
Guys, this is spooky, you guys. Things are getting wet. I keep wanting to say that they're gonna get dirty. I can't get Christina Aguilera out of my fucking head. I'm so sorry, everybody.
She's a human earworm. We fell in love with her last week. Said way too many things about her. Talked about her so much during our episode.
I think we talked more about her than Barbarian.
For sure. But Andy, nobody knows who we are and nobody knows what this show is. So
oh my gosh, you are right.
Introduce us, baby.
So you guys, we are the podcast that examines and revisits the trauma of youth through movies. My name is Andy Diaz.
And my name is Gabe Martinez.
And together, we're a podcast called
Who Let You Watch That?
You guys, we are living it every single week, bringing it to your ears so you can take it, listen to it, love it, rate it, review it, share it with your friends and family.
With everyone, especially grandma.
Ride public transportation and just be like, this podcast, guys, you got to listen. Who'll let you watch that?
It's great.
All right, everybody, I'm airdropping it to you. And just airdrop it to everybody.
Do it. Airdrop it to them.
People are on planes airdropping dick pics. Don't do that. Airdrop our podcast instead.
Yeah.
I think that'd be better.
Well, it's a close second.
Yeah.
It depends on the dick.
Depends on the dick.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, speaking of dicks, let's talk about a movie that fucking is a wild-ass ride.
Yeah, speaking of dicks. Andy, do you have any new business, though, for this week?
Oh, my gosh. Somebody... Oh, shit. Who was it? Oh, you know who you are as you told me about it. The reason that Christina Aguilera is on my mind is because we said we don't know what happened to her, and we're pretty sure that she, I don't know, died of a drug overdose or something.
Yeah, that she's dead.
Someone pointed out to me that she was a host on The Voice or whatever that was 3 years ago. So she is apparently still doing stuff, Christina.
No. If it was 3 years ago,
Oh.
she could still very well be dead.
Oh. Well, she was doing other stuff after Dirty. That's what I'm trying to get. So she got dirty, she got less dirty, and then she was on ABC or whatever. That's pretty clean.
Yeah, no, she definitely had a life after Dirty because she put on she got big fake boobs and put on a bunch of weight. She looked lovely. I'm not saying anything bad about her, but I know that was the deal. She got big giant boobs and then put on weight so it would look more natural, I guess. Or she got stung by a bee. I don't know.
I thought we were in agreement that she just died in a gutter somewhere, just she was dirty and then just got on crank or something and just died.
That's a way more fun story. I never mind. I'm good with that.
In my mind, I thought that's what we were saying. Anyway, that was my new business.
I'm fine with that.
Gabe, do you have any new business?
Yeah, Andy. My new business is, apologies that the audio was weird last week's episode. Last week's episode was so weird. We have emailed and troubleshooted and to no avail. So sorry. I know parts of it were kind of blown out. It's a fun episode, so I hope you got into it. And, the audio was good on our YouTube video, so watch that if you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
That's the only new business I have.
There we go, you guys. Yeah. Go once again. I guess a second bit of new business is that you should follow us on YouTube and subscribe to that. Smash that follow button, hit that bell so you always get those reminders whenever we decide to upload stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. It's gonna be every other hour.
Yeah, every
new video.
We'll figure it out. We'll get on a schedule there, guys. YouTube's brand new. No one knows about it yet. We're not 40-year-old men like trying to figure out.
It's the Wild West.
15-year-old technology. Anyway, you guys, we're doing it. We're getting it, you guys. We did the new business this week, you guys. We are continuing the spooky train. Boop boop. Chugga chugga chugga. Spooky 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 spooky. It's scary, you guys. We've taken it all sorts of different ways. We went kind of fun the first week. Second week we went very contemporary. This week it's kind of the same thing. We're a little contemporary.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to talk about, arguably, I'm giving away too much, one of the most disturbing movies I've ever seen. And I got stories. You got stories.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this.
Yeah.
Before we get into any of that, Gabe, you're bringing this one to the table today.
I am.
So I got to ask you. I have to ask you, my friend. Can you describe this movie in 5 words or less?
Andy, I am up to the challenge, and I actually thought about it this time.
We did it.
We did it. I think I've only thought about it once when I've done the 5 words or less. This one is going to be our first one in 2 languages.
Oh,
that's right. That's right, my friends.
Oh no.
We've got Espanol in this. Okay. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. Tongue clicking. Mass decapitations. Because
why was that in Spanish?
Because I was like, because it was going to be like, and lots of decapitations. That'd be too many.
Yeah.
So then I was like, and mucho decapitation. No.
Mas
decapitations.
I love it. You know what? I love it.
Thank
We're
you.
here in Southern California. We're talking Spanglish every day.
Yeah.
Guys, do you know what movie it is? It could be anything.
Yeah, with
Whoa.
tongue clicking. So much decapitations. What could
what
it possibly be?
We are talking about the 2018 horror drama extravaganza, Hereditary.
Oh,
burr, burr.
So scary.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Fucking this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it.
Read
guys.
in the log line,
guys.
baby.
Logline IMDb. A grieving family is haunted by tragic and disturbing occurrences. Oh, it's so disturbing.
Yes, that's a great log line. It's also very, very vague.
I saw a tagline on IMDb too that I thought was the log line at first, and it was awful. And I'm like, that's not the log line, is it? It was, every family has secrets in their treehouse. And I'm like, is that like a common saying? Like,
yeah.
Every family has secrets in their treehouse.
Everybody keeps their secrets in the treehouse.
Like, what is
Everyone
that
knows
saying?
that.
Like, what the fuck is that? But anyway, that was a tag also for this movie. I'm like, well, I'm glad they didn't go with that.
Yeah.
Would you imagine that on posters? You're walking by and you see scary ass Toni Collette, and then you see that tagline, and you're just like,
yeah, I'd be
I'll
like,
wait for it.
Yeah, I'll wait for streaming. No thanks. I'm glad you said the star of this film, scary ass Toni Collette.
Dude.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Toni Collette, possibly one of the greatest actresses of all time.
Yes.
Actually, not possibly. Definitely one of the greatest of all time. What I was going to say was possibly the greatest of all time, is what I got to say.
We'll get into all that. She does the best job ever in this movie as Annie.
Yeah, Annie. She's Annie. I had to write down all the characters.
Yeah, as the mom in this movie, Toni Collette kills the shit out of this movie.
She does.
And it's, all I have to say is Meryl Streep who?
Because Meryl eat shit.
Yeah.
That's your name.
Yeah, Meryl.
Go do Mamma Mia 3, you dickhead. Toni Collette's not doing that.
Fuck off, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Toni Collette.
Terms of endearment.
Give her all the Oscars. No one talks about Toni Collette, and it's a travesty.
I know. Toni Collette should have won the Oscar for this.
Yes, there shouldn't even been Academy Awards. They just should have just been like, oh yeah, here. I just like gave her everything.
They canceled the Academy Awards that year, and they're like, in lieu, we're just giving all the awards to Toni Collette. I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad move.
Yeah, editing everything, just like, oh,
editing, sound design.
costumes. She's just like, what? Okay.
She's like, okay, yeah, thank you.
It's that great. Directed, written. It's his feature-length directorial debut.
Yes.
Ari Aster.
Yep. Ari Aster. Holy crap!
Fuck,
you
man.
Insane genius, you.
Dude, I need to go and watch all his short films because I've heard they're effed up as well.
They are.
They're just totally disturbing.
Yeah.
Midsommar is fantastic. Not as great as this, but it's still unbelievable.
Agreed. Yeah.
I can't wait for his next A24 one, whatever it's called. Redemption Road.
It's like Joaquin Phoenix eats a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like chubby Joaquin Phoenix.
But it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I'm sure it's going to be great. His shorts are all very good. They're like very good and gnarly. I think one of them's called like Munchausen or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like a mom guilting a son who's going away to college. It's like, it's done like a Pixar movie. It's so like cute and fun. It's very reminiscent of like the beginning of Up, that just like rips your heart out and makes you sad. This one, like the mom is slowly making the son sick so he won't go away to college. And I won't spoil how it ends, but it's like, it's so good and it's awful and disturbing. And it's like, where did this asshole come from?
Dude, he's a genius, man. And
he is.
There's those directors that are kind of, well, we kind of blew up, what's his name? Interstellar. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. He used to be that guy for me, but
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind or anyone's mind who's seen a movie. Christopher Nolan is a genius.
Yeah,
he's
he is
great.
a genius. Yes.
I just think Interstellar was a bloated, dumb piece of shit.
I've heard bad things about that other one too, whatever it's called.
Which one?
The other weird, timely, wibbly wobbly one.
Oh yeah, that one's also not good. We talked about it on that episode. Tenet. It's not good. I'm sorry. Yeah. I've watched it. It's not a good movie, and it doesn't. It just makes no sense. It's just dumb. Yeah. But anyway, we're not talking about that dumbass. We're talking about
a
genius, a magical man named Ari Aster who went to NYU and met all these cats and made this movie. Movie that just kicks ass.
Arguably one of the, I don't know, most, it's a modern horror classic. Like it's unbelievable. Sure. We wanted to do this movie since the inception of our podcast, dude.
Yes.
We've been wanting to talk about this forever now.
Yeah, exactly.
And now it's here. It's happening.
It's finally doing it. It took us that long, ladies and gentlemen, to rewatch this movie.
That's what it is. We both were like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, quite honestly. We both had seen it once and said, it's great.
It's great.
I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. So great. I'm good.
Yeah.
See you later. Who else is in this fucking movie?
Gabriel Byrne is in this movie.
From Cool World.
From Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings? He was the sled.
He was the sled. Yeah, a lot of people forget that.
Rosebud.
He's a British sled Rosebud. Exactly. Yeah. And then we have Miss Millie Shapiro.
Oh, Millie Shapiro, dude. Just fucking clicking her tongue and
just being weird.
Just being weird. And great, though.
She's so good.
She's so good at being weird. And I love her. I don't know if she's been in anything else. I saw that she's done some music, so I don't know. Go listen to her music.
Yeah, she played Matilda on Broadway.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so, go back in time and see that.
Yeah.
Alex Wolff, who's having a hell of a career. This dude, after this movie, just blew up and has been in a million things. So good.
Nickelodeon kid, I think, so.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he was like a Nickelodeon kid and did some shit with his brother.
Oh, okay.
The Wolf Brothers or something, and then he went and did this thing and was like insane in it. And Toni Collette is great.
Yeah.
He's a very close second. He is so good in this.
He is. He really does a great job. This kid has incredible range. And, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're going to talk more about everybody's performances in the rewatch.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my notes are so much of like, fuck, this person's amazing,
Fuck, this movie sucks.
Yeah, this movie sucks. It's breaking my heart. It's making me sad.
Oh my God,
it's scaring me.
So sad. So sad. I mean, anybody else that we want to talk about or highlight or anything? I mean, we got Jake Brown just killing it left and right in that. You gotta love Jake Brown.
Gotta love Jake Brown for his monumental role as the
Stoner Kid.
The Stoner Kid
3.
2. Yeah, 3.
Is he 2?
I think he was 2.
Oh shit. Okay.
Legitimately, Ann Dowd. Ann Dowd is Joan. That's another one. Sleeper hit there. I cannot recommend the TV show The Handmaid's Tale. It's a bummer. The first season's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
First season's really cool. Apparently follows the book fairly well, and it was like really compelling. The other like 15 seasons that have been on are just Elizabeth Moss like weirdly staring and like shaking and being so mad while getting like raped a bunch of times.
Shit.
It just fucking sucks. Don't watch it. It's a stupid show. They should have done one season, and if they were going to do a second one, all the handmaids should have just like burned everyone's dicks off or something, and that would have been great. But they're just dragging it out, and it's seriously just Elizabeth Moss doing torture porn every week, and it just sucks. It just sucks. Anyway, I say that because the lady that gets the handmaids like whipped into shape is Ann Dowd.
Oh, shit.
And she's equally brilliant in that role. She does like an amazing job in that role. She really does. But again, see what she does in the first season. That's all you need. You're good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I've read the book. Love the book.
Yeah.
But source material and everything, it's just a little too heavy. I as we're talking about Hereditary tonight.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I gotta put on some light stuff. The world sucks. Like,
yeah, there's. I
just gotta watch What We Do in the Shadows like for the 18th time. You know?
Yeah, exactly. New York City,
Arizona.
Yeah, this is how we'll talk in Arizona.
Yeah, see, go watch that.
Yeah,
once you're all bummed out, just go watch that.
Watch anything with Matt Berry. You genius, beautiful man. You. Yeah. Anyway,
MCO, make him fucking beast.
Yeah,
do
exactly.
It now. Fuck you.
He has to be beast. He has to be beast. Okay.
Anyway,
so tangent on top of tangents.
Love it.
Yeah. So those are the people that are in this movie. Let's jump into this thing.
So, as we do every week, this movie traumatized you. But wait a minute, this movie is like 4 years old. Like, so.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
Gabe, I think we have to hear a story about how this movie traumatized you in your, I guess you were younger, so you were in your youth.
Yeah, I was younger.
Yeah, your young days. Tell us how this movie traumatized you. Who let you watch that?
Thank you for that beautiful setup, Andy. I really appreciate it. I really do. The Who is me.
Oh.
I let me watch it. So
why?
His name is Gabe, and he's incredibly handsome. He's just like someone I look up to. I look in the mirror every day, and I go like, you're just the best. But he's, when he's all alone, he does bad things, like watch Hereditary.
Oh, God.
So for my day job back then, I used to travel. Thank goodness, one of the beautiful side effects of COVID is I don't do that anymore, so it's pretty great. But I used to travel. So I was on the road, and to stave off the horrible, crippling depression that comes from being on the road constantly, I would go do fun stuff, like go to the movies, and then also eat way too much. Like that was the other thing that I would do. So I found myself at a conference that I had to go to, much like the butt plug conference that we talked about from Barbarian last week. And I was in Canada, okay? And I feel like I should be, like, telling you this as opposed to looking that way. But you guys are watching us, so I'll talk to you. And you. So I'm in Canada. And Canada's rad. I'm in Vancouver, which is, like, one of my favorite places in Canada. It's super cool. A big old storm has rolled in. So I'm at a conference all day. And then at night, I'm exhausted, but I want to do something. And I don't want to go back to my hotel room. So I'm with a business colleague, very sweet guy, real good dude, older than me, very Canadian, like very Canadian to the point where like all the stereotypes are true, like super sweet, very kind, like the guy's like he's a saint. I love him.
Loves donuts.
Loves
Scared
donuts.
of the dark.
Yeah, afraid of the dark. Worships an idol that's like a bird, like a carved bird. All the regular Canadian things. Totally. All right. Ticks all those boxes. So I'm like, hey, let's go to the movies. And he's like, that sounds great. We've been in a conference center all day. Let's go to the movies. Awesome, dude. Let's do it. We see at the theater, there's like 100 movies playing. And I go, oh, dude, Hereditary. I heard about this. I heard it's awesome and super scary. And he's like, oh boy, I don't know that I can do a scary movie right now. And I was like, come on. How scary can it be? And he's like, yeah, okay, all right. And we're waiting in line to get the tickets. And he tells me, oh, gosh, I really hope it's not too scary. And I go, I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure it's going to be fine. And he's like,
no.
He's like, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I go, well, like, what's the last scary movie you saw? And he's like, Jaws in the theaters.
No.
He hadn't seen a scary movie for like 40 years. Yeah, we were seeing this in the theaters in 2018. It was in the theaters.
He's missed it all. He's missed the torture porn.
He's missed everything. Yeah,
he's missed everything.
Yeah, exactly. He's missed everything. I mean, Jaws is great.
Jaws is great,
and he saw it as a kid in the 70s, whenever that came out, 79 or something. Whatever.
But that was enough to make him go like, this ain't my genre.
Yeah, for him to be like, no, I'm good. I don't need it.
Oh my word.
So I go, let's see Hereditary. I heard it's super scary and fun. And he's like, sure, okay. Because, again, he's the sweetest man. He's, like, so kind and was like, yeah, if you want to do it, I'll go with you so you're not alone. Boy, oh boy, friends. So we go in the theater. We've both got hot dogs and popcorn. And, I mean, this is our dinner for the night.
What was the licorice rope situation?
The licorice ropes were thick and pleasant. You know?
Love it.
It wasn't the flat paper stuff you had last week.
Gosh, I've been looking for them everywhere.
I know.
I'm addicted now.
I gotta get it. The flatter, the better.
The flatter, the better.
So we're in the theaters. Movie starts. Movie is amazing from the get-go, but it's terrifying, and it's not like, killer getting you in the middle of the night, or monster coming or whatever. It's this like deep, personal, traumatizing horror that just stabs you in the heart and then now stays there. It's just there. And so we're watching this movie, and I look over a couple of times to make sure like my buddy's doing okay. And he gives me the thumbs up, and he's good. He's all good. I stop checking in with him, Andy, halfway through easily.
Yeah.
Once we get to the scene that I'm sure we're going to talk about in a minute. I stopped checking in with him because I'm now like, I'm horrified. I'm like dying inside. I'm like, what is happening? This is so terrible. Poor Toni Collette. Poor the whole family. This is the worst. I don't even know that my friend is here anymore. I'm so like into the movie.
It's pulled you in. The story has got its hooks in you, and you're invested.
Definitely. And I just remember vividly, as like sick as I'm feeling watching this movie, like just sad with heartache, I look over, and my wonderful friend has a tear rolling down his cheek.
Geez.
That this movie is just fucking him up. This movie is just ruining his life. And I now feel even worse. I feel the badness of the film, and the film is so effective. It's like the most effective horror film ever. It's just like, it just hurts you. It's as if you're living through grief. It's so effective. And now I feel like, oh no, I'm definitely to blame. I am this guy's who let you watch that for this movie that has ruined him, absolutely ruined him. So I felt really bad for that on top of it. Well, the movie goes and finishes, and the lights come on. The lights come on. People, by the way, people walked out of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, because it is gnarly. People walked out while we were watching it. Multiple people, like, screamed, shrieked. You could hear audible sobbing, like, in the film,
Oh my.
So when it's done, it's, like, silent. The lights come on. It's absolutely silent. And I turn, and I'm like, hey, buddy, you okay? And he's like, oh, I can't say I cared much for that one. And I was like, dude, me neither. I'm so sorry. I was like, it was amazing, but also, I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh, it's okay. We should probably go get food or something. And I'm like, okay. We walk out. We're going down the escalators. This is in downtown Vancouver. It's like one of those like huge megaplexes where we're like 3 stories up.
Okay.
By the time we get to the bottom, I'm like, you know what? It's still early enough. Do you want to watch a fun movie so you don't go to bed with that shit in your head? And he's like, yes, please. We got right back in line. 2 tickets for Solo, please. The Han Solo movie. And we watched Han Solo. Had a blast.
Yes.
Had a great time. And then afterwards, we were hungry enough. We're like, let's get sushi.
Yeah.
And it was great. So that went away. the reason it was traumatic and that I have this trauma. The movie's gnarly. Okay, the movie's gnarly.
Yeah.
I feel terrible for what I did to my friend, and he didn't sleep well that night. Neither did I.
Yeah.
Because try as I might to put Solo and Donald Glover's amazing performance in my head as Lando Calrissian, I was still alone in a foreign country in a hotel room, and at night my mind was playing tricks on me, and it definitely messed me up for the next 4 or 5 trips where I was in my hotel room and I would turn out the light and instantly I would see woman in the corner or King Paimon in the corner, and I was like, fuck this, no. So I had to sleep with the lights on like a child for the next 6 months. So it's not trauma that I've carried with me my whole life, but after seeing this movie, something just clicked, and I was like a kid again in the worst way. So
Dude.
There you go. That's my story, Andy.
I know how you are, and I know where you are in life. Whatever happened to this dude? Is he is he okay? Can we Skype him in? I feel so bad.
He's okay. He's fine. We actually the next day we were at the conference again together. Though. Oh no, he went on disability. Yeah, he's like I can't work. He's never been to a theater again.
This is a business trip. This is workers' comp now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I went and met with HR, and it's like, well, he's suing you.
He's suing everybody. Ari Aster.
Ari Aster. Yeah. So he, the next day at the conference, we were talking about it the whole time, and I think it helped. You could tell he needed to sort of talk through all the scenes, and yeah, that's what we did. We just talked through the movie beat by beat, and I think that helped. And then right afterwards, the weather was beautiful, so he's like, how about we go for a nice long walk? And we just walked, and we ate at 2 or 3 restaurants, getting a little bit of food here, a little bit of food there. Oh, I mean, Vancouver's amazing, so it's what you got to do. It's so good.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
You gotta get that sushi in Vancouver.
You got to do it. How about you, buddy? You saw this movie. Who let you watch that?
Well, I didn't see it in the theater like you, man, because I was scared. Yeah. And I knew it was going to be scary. But more than that, I had just had a kid. So
yeah, that's right.
My wife was pregnant, and the movie came out, and I just didn't have an opportunity to see it and everything. So
right.
It wasn't until a year later that it was out, and kind of hearing your story about it. We all love horror, so it's one of the things we talk about.
For
horror.
Sure.
We talk about all that stupid shit, as it comes out. The new Hellraiser's out right now. Apparently, it's trash, but
yeah.
One of us is going to watch it and
we're going to see it at some point.
And be like, it sucks. Go see it, or, don't see it.
Yeah.
We'll probably see it anyway because it's Hellraiser.
It's Hellraiser. I'm going to see it. I got to see the female Hellraiser.
Malignant, we always talk about these awful, fun, stupid things. So
yeah,
I think it was a couple of you guys had been talking about Hereditary in our chat. We have a chat. We talk, about everything. So I was like, fuck, I got to see this movie. I got the kid. I got to make this happen. And it was on Amazon Prime already. So it'd been out, a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, it's not going to happen because my kid is a newborn. My wife was away. My wife hates, we've talked about it on the podcast, my wife does not like scary movies anymore.
No.
The bait and switch, she's like.
Yeah, just like mine.
I'll see you later. That's not my jam anymore.
Uh-huh.
Have a good time, though. Be all scared and be all spooked out. That ain't my ride anymore, baby.
Right.
See you later. Bye. But you'll watch, just horrifying news and real life tragedies.
Yeah, actual terrible things every day.
So she leaves for the day. She goes, hangs out with her sister. And I'm like, you know what? It's time. I'm going to do this. So I get my little man down. He's a newborn at this point. I think he's a month old. I don't think he could crawl or anything.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So it's just okay, he's down for a little bit. I'm going to start this movie. And I turn it on, and I put myself through this fucking movie for some reason. And it starts up. And it's just awful. It's tragic in all the greatest ways.
Yeah.
It's incredibly compelling. I'm going to say it multiple times throughout this episode. This movie sucks in the way that it's just horrible. It's Requiem for a Dream or something, where it's just like you can't look away. It's done unbelievably. It's a master. I love this. This movie is a masterpiece. This movie is fantastic, and it deserves all the praise. But this movie fucking sucks.
I completely agree.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
So I watched this fucking movie, and I'd start it up, and we get to, the big scene where, the awfulness happens, know, and you're just like, oh shit. And at that point, my boy like wakes up and starts stirring, and it's just perfect. So I just like grab him, and I just like kind of like rocket him, and I just continue to watch this movie holding my boy. And then the next scene is, Toni Collette breaking down, and it's the most heartbreaking scene ever.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching the most horrific portrayal of grief, the most realistic portrayal of grief that may have ever been committed to film.
Yeah.
Just holding my boy like,
yeah.
This is horrible.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level.
What the fuck is this? What am I doing? Please just don't let any of this sadness and horror absorb into you through osmosis as I'm holding you, my son. Like, don't let this happen to you.
And I'm sure subsequently you're like, also, no bad things ever happen to you.
Yeah, please, I will protect you, and I will just hold you forever and ever. Just please. Like, this is horrible. He kind of gets down, and then through the rest of the movie, he's kind of awake, and, he's a baby. So, I feed him, watch it for, 20
Chinese
minutes.
Food,
watch feed him a bottle, watch it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Change a diaper, watch it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, for
feed
sure.
him again, watch it for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
And just the whole time, just this movie is rough, and it's just it's family drama with also incredibly spooky imagery throughout of just ghosts, there in the background, and just these
I know
psychological awful things just throughout. And I'm just like so afraid to like, oh no, like, okay, I know that your sight isn't developed at all. You can barely see me.
Yeah.
But like,
you're afraid you're like, traumatizing the kid.
Can he see any of this? No, I don't think so. I don't think he can see any of this. Yeah. I need to see how this movie plays out, so I'm not turning this off. I think my wife and my sister-in-law had come home at one point. I was just like, guys, go away for like a half hour more. Go like walk down the block. I got the kid. Like, I need to finish this movie. I need to see what happens. And I almost wish it would have just stayed, and like I didn't finish what happened, because it's just it never gets better. It
ramps up to being the worst.
The worst, and it just stays the worst. And you're like, fuck, man, like what has happened?
Yeah.
And much like your friend, you're just left at the end of this movie like you just feel like Christina Aguilera. You're just feeling dirty.
So dirty.
Just
dirty, dead in a gutter.
Dude, I've been doing too much Craig. I need to be back on The Voice. And and I'm just left there just with my boy. Like, I need to do something. I'm going to just go get chicken wings or something now, because like, what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
What else am I going to do?
Everything else is just, everything's futile.
Yeah, wife comes home. Oh, how's the movie? No.
How's the movie?
No. Don't.
Yeah.
What? Like, no. We're good. Just don't even look up anything ever. Like, just don't do it. Well, should I read the Wikipedia? Nah.
Yeah.
Just stay away.
No, you're good. Just it's a film, the end.
Yeah, just don't ever. It was so bad that I would, like, when Hereditary came out, or Midsummer came out, I'm like, I need to watch this. I need to see what this director does next. And the missus was very much like, oh, can I watch that with you? And she was just like, nah, just don't. She ended up watching, like, the second half with me. Like, oh, that was pretty good. I'm like, yeah. Just don't. No, just avoid this guy forever. But you really like him. Yeah, fuck, no.
I do, but also, nah.
Just don't. I'll go see and just never. So as we're getting towards the rewatch, she once again was like, oh, you have to watch it, for the week. Like, do you want to watch together? I'm like, no, just don't.
No, you can't bring that evil into your home.
No,
you can't do that.
I'll just I'll figure out a way to watch it. And we'll talk about that in a second.
In your marriage, yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a second. But just my job now is I protect my boy, and I keep my wife away from Hereditary forever. Those are my jobs in life.
If you do that, then you're good.
I think I've succeeded as a husband and as a provider.
Shame on you, Ari Aster. All right, well there you go. We were both traumatized. It's gnarly. Thankfully I can say I didn't carry any of it with me over the last 4 years, just for a few months afterwards while I was still like on the road. But the rewatch, baby,
man,
just as heavy,
dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I mean, you want to jump into?
Let's do it.
I mean, yeah, with the rewatch already. Last week, I was living your life. I was away on business.
That's right. That's right. You were.
My plan was I was gonna watch it in the hotel room by myself, just watch it on, and talking to you via Zoom and stuff. You were just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I was like, no, don't ever do that. Don't watch that. Watch it by yourself. Fine.
Yeah.
In the comfort of your own home. You know, wearing like a raincoat in a movie theater by yourself. Sure, that's fine.
I was kind of, even before I had gotten there. We have a movie next week we'll talk about. I watched a movie, by myself up there. Another spooky movie for a future episode.
Yeah.
That spooked me enough being by myself alone in a city that I've never been to.
Yeah. Right.
In a hotel.
Right.
I've never been alone in 21 years. I don't know what the fuck. So so I was just like, oh, like I'm scared by that movie like enough that I think Hereditary would have destroyed me, and I think I would just still be in Seattle, like curled in a ball. Like,
yeah, dude. Or you would have like come home.
Yeah.
You would have like, I'm going to the airport right now.
I am done. Fly me home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you didn't, dude. I seriously, I saw him on Zoom and was like, dude,
don't do it.
Don't do it. So I'm
glad I did it.
I'm glad.
I actually pulled your move while I was there. I didn't sleep with the lights on, but the first night that I was there, I was watching TV. I'm like, I'm gonna sleep with the TV on all night. I just turned down the volume and I went, I haven't slept alone in years. I'm doing this move. Fuck it.
That's a trip. I have been on the road. I mean, again, thankfully I don't do it anymore, but like probably for 12 to 13 years.
Damn, dude.
So I'm perfectly comfortable being by myself anywhere all the time.
I thought I was going to be until I was just like going to bed like,
No, I've heard that. A lot of people like because you've had like roommates or like a girlfriend or a wife or, significant other, whatever. Or, you live at home or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you go to an unfamiliar place and you're in a hotel room totally by yourself, it can be creepy. It can be weird.
That's how it was. I'm used to my son sleeping on my head. So just being alone,
right,
I was like, I need something.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get spooky.
So many notes.
The first note I have, once again, my mental headspace is not ready for this movie. Gabriel. I legit jumped at the Palm Star logo when this movie started off.
Why?
I don't know. I had my headphones in. So, little backstory. I've watched this movie much like the first time. I haven't watched this movie straight ever. I've always broken it up. So, last couple of days in between breaks at work, I've watched it like 10, 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes at a time in between lunches and stuff. Like, headphones in. Let's watch it. So, when I first started watching it, I put in the headphones. By the way, awful mistake. Don't watch this movie with headphones on. The sound editing in this movie is insane.
It's so good.
It's so good, and it's just in your head. So I was just like, oh, this is spooky already. Palm Star. And I went, oh! And work on my brain, just like a little like jump. I was like, what the fuck, Eddie? I'm already psyching myself up that I'm going to get scared.
Like, this movie's going to wreck you.
I'm like, I've avoided it for 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's a way better opening note than mine. Mine is just, the miniature house. Like you start with this miniature house, and it's so effective and creepy because you like immediately you go from the house then into Peter's room, and you're like, what's real?
Yes.
What isn't?
Yeah.
And that's a theme that runs throughout the whole thing. But I think starting with that little she does miniatures the whole time. If you haven't seen the movie. See the movie. Don't see the movie. Just listen to us.
See the movie.
I don't know. If you really like gnarly horror movies and don't have much to live for, see the movie.
See the movie.
If you have a good, wonderful life, don't bring this evil into it.
Bring it in. Let the evil in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great note, man, because it's throughout this movie now on the second watch, there is so much just subtlety and foreshadowing throughout this entire damn movie that I totally missed the first time because I was just terrified.
Yeah.
And even in 10-minute, 15-minute increments this time around, I was able to pick up on that. And that, immediately, similar note, goes right into that where it's just like, wait a minute, is this movie all like an art piece or is this real? Like, what the fuck is this movie?
Right.
And it's just, it starts off like that. It goes into her art, and it's, so damn good. I hate this.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no reason that miniature should be scary, but it starts off and I don't like it and it's scary.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you don't know. Totally. You're like, is it an art piece? I personally thought the movie was way better, if possible, the second time.
Yes.
I picked up on more of that. I also was I felt everything even more deeply, which sounds weird. Like it was gnarly. It was just gnarly. But yeah, like I wonder if there's a world where basically like when the movie starts, like it's all done and we're seeing it like play through the miniatures. Like, I don't know. Like there's enough going back to the miniatures and everything like that that it's like, did this happen or not? It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild,
cool,
man.
But
it's a thinking man's horror movie.
It is. The next note I have is this family fucking sucks. They suck so much. They're the worst people. Peter's good, and a little Charlie has like Down syndrome or something. Like she has something, and she doesn't have Down syndrome. And there's nothing wrong with that if you do, but I'm saying, like, in the movie, her character clearly has something.
Yeah, it's
that
some
is
sort of
gnarly.
like special needs and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'm not blaming the kids per se, but the family unit sucks. And
they
like
really do.
Toni Collette is this insane person, and she plays Annie. And then like Gabriel Byrne, who's Steve.
Yeah.
Steve is like, he just sucks. He's this like analytical, emotionless dude, but then he's also like a good dad, but also a super shitty dad because he puts his kids in harm's way multiple times.
Yes, he does.
And but so I just have like, this movie sucks. Peter should run away right after the funeral.
Dude.
Like, he should just go and fuck off to the wilderness. That's what Peter should do, and his life would be way better living homeless in the woods than it does over the next couple weeks.
It would have been. He would have just been living in beautiful Utah, just in the woods.
It's gorgeous.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have a note to self. Note to self, you guys, if you're ever at a funeral and a bunch of people that you don't know show up, your loved one was in a cult. I am sorry. It's true.
That is true. Yep. And if they put magic stuff on their lips, you need to burn everyone in the room.
You just
burn them to the ground.
It was all a cult. Like, they were very secretive and everything. I've gone through some stuff recently. I've been to some funerals. I'm looking back now and I'm like, man, there's a lot of people I didn't know. I think there's some cult activity going on.
There might be some cult activity.
I gotta go look at some list.
You're right. Yeah, it's
just
pretty gnarly.
Don't trust anybody.
Don't trust anyone unless you've known them for 100 years. Like, don't trust, or actually, unless you're married to them or they came from your loins.
Yeah,
don't trust them.
I like that. I like that. Unless you let them into your loins or they came from your loins.
Yeah, don't trust them. Yeah. Annie talking to Charlie about death proves my previous note that this family fucking sucks.
Yeah.
She's just like, it's a funeral and she clearly had some connection with her grandma, which we'll find out more later, but Charlie's like,
what a connection.
Yeah, what a wonderful connection it was. But Charlie's sad and doesn't know how to process this thing, so she's a little girl talking to her mom about death, and her mom's like advice is just like the worst. It's just the worst. Like, you could talk to a shoeless person at a gas station who is jerking off while you're talking to them. And the advice they would give you about like coping with death, loss, or the afterlife is 100 times more responsible than what Annie says to Charlie.
Jeez Louise, man. Ain't that the fucking truth?
It's just awful.
I mean, you come to find out it's when Toni Collette, Annie kind of reveals all the family history and stuff. You're like, oh, like that's why. But at first, you're just kind of like, all you people are kind of just fucked up, right?
Yeah, exactly. You just go like, oh, everything's wrong with all of you people.
My kid, he's getting older. He's 4 years old, and I see Charlie's drawings, and I'm like, man, my kid's starting to draw. I love him now. Man, maybe I shouldn't encourage drawing because kids' drawings are just inherently creepy as fuck.
They are.
And I get pictures now. It's like, Papa, that's you. And it's just like, oh, I love it. But if I like look at it for a little bit, like, this is kind of fucking scary. I'm going to throw this away.
This is a hellmouth. I need to burn this.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking weird like thing. Oh, why am I always just sad? And just like, no, that's you smiling. Like, oh, I don't. Either you're a really shitty artist or...
Listen, kid, I got to level with you. Either you're shitty or I need to put this key filled with the blood of Christ against your face. Go ahead. Do you have a note?
It's a perfect note. I think it's a perfect note.
Okay.
So fuck this movie.
That early. That
early because I think this was the note where because I have now is she's in the room and she finds that book of her mom's.
Yeah.
Where it says like, hey, I wanted to tell you some secrets and stuff and like everything. And
she finds the note.
Yeah, finds the note, turns off the light, and it's just mom right there, just like spook central.
Yes.
Like it's the worst. It's the fucking worst imagery because it doesn't do it. It's not. If it was a jump scare,
right?
It's I don't know. It has a like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because it's just there. But is it there?
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. It lets you
sucks.
It lets you sit in it.
Yeah.
She reads this note,
it sucks.
and the note is like so foreboding. It's just like. All the things. What did I actually scribbled that down? It was just like, all of our sacrifices will be worth it. And then, she's really thinking about this, and she's like, what is this shit? I don't know. This is weird. She turns off the light, and it's in her miniatures room. So there's shit all over the place, and scaffolds and easels and all kinds of stuff.
And
in the midst of all that, it's normally spooky. And in the midst of all that. Is her mom, and it's her mom as she was like in her last days, about to die, very sickly and like white, kind of see-through like house coat dress, nightshirt thing, and she's so beautifully lit and framed to where you're like, are those easels that they like put through like CG? They put a face on them or something like that, and it's like, no, that's her mom. And it lets you sit in it. It's not like
it's
a flash and then you go like because James Wan does that type of shit all the time, and they are jump scares. But I mean, he does that and it's like boom, and then you're like and then it's crazy, or the thing runs at you or whatever. This is just there, and it's like Toni Collette flips out as she should, and then like light comes back on and it's gone.
But she doesn't really like. It's not like scared, scream scared. It's just, it's her face, just looking at it. Terrified.
Yes.
But there's
there's
no noise or anything.
Right.
It's just,
that is true.
It's just quiet, and it's a couple beats.
Yeah.
Just one more beat than it should be, where you're just like, oh.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then the light comes on, and then she turns on the light, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And you're like, ah.
And most directors then cut from that to like, now they're walking the dog or they're doing the blah, blah, blah. But no, it stays with her, and we see her in the hallway for a minute, like thinking about what just happened.
And then, it goes to her and her husband, and she talks about it, like, hey,
yes,
I think I just saw my mom. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's brilliant. It really is.
And Steve is just going with it all the time. He's like, well, my wife's a crazy person, but all right, that's cool.
And that's the thing. Steve's a great character because he's just there, like, and later on, you're just like, he's just going along with it, or he's like, this is for her own mental health, and it's just like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
they have those ranks, especially this time of the year, like the scariest jump scares or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
That you mentioned, I think it's James Wan who did the
Conjuring.
Conjuring. Did he do Insidious too?
Insidious,
yeah. Insidious has the one with
the best jump scare of all time, where the thing is
thing.
behind Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. I will put that scene next to this one any day of the week. I feel like Hereditary one is scarier. I don't know. There's
I think it's scarier. Yeah. The James Wan stuff is awesome. It scares the shit out of you. You jump and
but it's also because of and
right.
That's anyone's gonna jump at that. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. Give me this. Give me that slow bird. Sit in it like I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
Ari Aster, why'd you do this to me?
Yeah. You want to get out of it. You're just like, because
now you're in your hotel room.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, is that a fucking ghost right there?
Yeah.
Like,
why is that lady standing in the curtains?
Why is that old man face right there? You're just like, fuck.
Yeah, most definitely.
What happened in this room? Splooge.
Yeah. There was so much jerking off in here.
He had his belt around his neck. He was a businessman.
I'm staying in the David Carradine suite.
Yeah.
When you're in class with Peter and they're talking about Hercules, this foreshadowing again is so amazing. They're saying like Hercules' downfall is that he ignores all the signs. And then it's like, well, but he never really had a choice. And then Peter is in this mix and stuff. And Peter is oblivious to the discussion that's happening around him because he's checking out the girl's ass. It's so good. It's so good. You're just like, yep, they're oblivious to the signs, the whole family, and Peter has no choice. At the end of all this, he's effed. So, yeah I thought that was brilliant.
He's just being a teenager. He's talking about smoking a bowl. And just like, let's
smoking a bowl and checking out asses. He's just like, I'm in.
He's just a teenage boy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
He's a very good teenage boy, though. I mean,
he's pretty good, except he's a shitty brother, which we'll get
brother.
into. But, anyway. What do you got? What do you got?
Man, what do I got?
Because my next note is on the support group scene.
Exact thing. And mine is I believe every single word that comes out of Toni Collette's mouth.
Oh, yeah.
It's we could go on and on and on, and we will on this episode. The Toni Collette praise hour or whatever that we got to call this. She's my king payment.
Yeah.
It's just
Hail Toni.
Hail Toni, man. She is so damn good. And this whole speech that she gives, and I'm eating it up the entire time. Like, she is not Toni Collette. She is
Annie.
I keep wanting to call her Ellie. I don't know why.
Call her Ellie. That's fine too.
She's Ellie, and she's just there, and I believe every single word that comes out of her mouth. It's masterful.
Agree.
It's masterful.
Yeah. I agree. I was blown away by that. And then I was also now angry because I know what all the stuff that she's saying means.
Yes.
And I'm just like, bitch, how can you not see the signs? Like, your mom was the high priestess devil worshiper. Like, that stuff, they talk about, mental illness. And she's like she's angry as she's talking to the support group, and she's annoyed and she's embarrassed, but she's like, I'm going to say all my shit. Here, fine. It's this. And as she's talking about and my dad did this. He died of starvation and he did this, and like fucking starvation. Exactly.
Dude.
And her brother kills himself because his mom was putting people in his head. And it's like, that's when you go, okay, just like my note, Peter needed to just run away. Toni Collette needed to just run away. She needed to be like, my dad and my brother did stuff. My mom is somehow okay. I should just run away. I should go work. I should go work anywhere. I'm going to go work at a gas station in 4 states away.
It's a good job. It's honest work.
Yeah.
People need gas.
Always.
They're traveling for work. They got to get to those hotel rooms to start jerking off to those ghost faces.
Jerk off on the ghost faces. All right. Yep. Agreed. We're on the same page there.
And I think that's why all these connections and all the stuff in this movie, the foreshadowing, everything on the second rewatch, I'm watching it with headphones on, And the sound in this movie is just there's like this low bass thing the whole time.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? It's just in my head.
It's so unsettling. I too watched most of this on the rewatch in headphones.
And I have the notes. It's just I hate this so much more than the first time. And why am I doing this? And
for you, we're doing it
for you, for the people, for our audience. We love you.
Yeah.
But man, this movie is rough. This movie is rough, man.
It is, dude. It is. With a capital R. Speaking of rough, you want to get to the party scene?
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we've established that little Charlie, she has mental problems and severe health problems and a life or death peanut allergy or nut allergy, okay?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Why? I know Toni Collette is an amazing actress, but Annie, the mom, is a fucking terrible mom. She's the worst. She should have her children taken away from her. Why would you force your kid to go to a party? You know, like, the brother, yeah, he's a shitty brother, but, like, he's not going to be good with his sister there, you know, and his sister's going to have a terrible time because clearly she's socially awkward and not having a great time. So what are you doing? So she goes to the party, and it's weird. It's a weird thing because probably I'm guilty. We have a recurring theme here is me growing up. I don't remember half the things that my sister did because I was an asshole and I just like went off and did my own thing. We played with each other plenty of times, but like most of my adventures, I'm like, I think she was in the house. I don't know, you know. But yeah, so again, I'm sorry. I love you, my sister. But I'm seeing this guy do it and my heart is breaking because I see this like little girl amidst all these teenagers and there's like, you know, drinking and smoking and everyone's like hanging out, having a good time. And, you know, she does my move. Ooh, there's cake. I'm going to go get cake. But she's just like sad and like stressed out and uncomfortable. And immediately you see her like, oh, fuck. She has an allergic reaction to the cake. Texts and calls her brother.
Yeah.
And he ignores her. And you're just like, I just feel so bad. Like sitting in the scene, watching the scene, I feel, especially knowing what's about to happen, I feel so bad for this human going through this.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
I feel for Peter too because Peter, you know, he's you know, he's a shitty older brother, but the whole family is shitty because this little girl has a deadly nut allergy.
Yeah.
And they're at the funeral or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we forgot the EpiPen." Like,
yeah, so carry that with you.
Why is that just not around your neck? Like you, like it's severe.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, and Peter needed to have it. Like someone needed to have it.
Like that. Yeah, I would think someone would have it with them. Like, hey, we're going. Also, I feel like if it's that severe, someone would check like the brother or even her. I don't know. Would just be like nuts in this.
Yeah.
No. Like,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because there are nuts all over that fucking cake.
Yeah,
like,
the cake is just a nut cake.
Yeah, just a nut cake. It's delicious nut cake.
Yeah, it's so good.
I feel for Peter because Peter's just trying to be a teenage boy.
He is.
He's trying to go make out and hang out and smoke a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
And
you're
mom
right.
is like, bring your sister. And he doesn't really complain about it. He's just kind of like, does she even want to go? Well, have you asked her? Like, I mean, I'll bring her, sure, but like she's not gonna have a good time. Like,
right? Yeah,
you should bring your sister, you know. And he like, so he ends up bringing her, and just like, please, like, hey, go hang out for a little bit. Like, let me go talk to Cassandra or whatever the shit her name is.
I think her
like,
name was Broomhilda.
Broomhilda. Yeah. I need to go see what that butt's about. I've been staring about it.
Staring at that butt.
I have
history.
I have this delicious Utah weed. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be so good.
And I'm pretty sure they're all Latter-day Saints, so it's actually just a bag of oregano.
That's
like,
of
let's
course,
be honest.
all of them are. Yeah, every one of them. They're just like, well, let's smoke this up. That's all right.
Let's smoke this sage.
Yeah.
So
you're right. You're right. I'm projecting my own regret that I wasn't a better brother. I guess on him.
Because when it goes down and she walks in and she's just like, "Hey, Peter," and he's just like, "Yo, is something wrong?"
Yeah.
And he straight up like picks her ass up.
Oh yeah, it's
after
so
taking
sweet.
The biggest bong rip of his entire life.
Yeah, the dude smoked all the weed in Utah with one hit. He's just like, boom. His eyes are, there's no pupils anymore. It's just red.
It's just red.
Yeah, this dude. But then, smash cut to the most loving thing ever. He's carrying her, holding her like a child.
Yeah.
And he's so panicked, and he's just, boom, like, hits the gas and is just zooming. Also, that's when you go, I know you're high. I know it's bad.
They
call
need to
your fucking parents.
Call 911, guys.
Yeah, call 911, too.
Yeah. Hey, guys, I'm sorry the party's about to be shut down. My sister's about to be shut down. So
yeah, exactly.
911.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, of course, Peter. We understand. We'll hide the beer, you know?
Yeah, but again, I give him a pass for that. It's believable because he's loaded and he's scared and he's trying to get his sister.
We're speaking as 40-year-old men who know.
We are well aware of what we would do,
and we know what's about to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she's in the back and she's freaking out and she can't breathe, and it's on the rewatch. It doesn't get any better. It's just tragic. And I thought, okay, this isn't going to be as bad. And I think it's worse. It's worse. I know that fucking pole is coming.
Yeah,
it's there.
You see it at the beginning of the movie, this lone pole on this weird little like dirt road, and the pole has the Pyman insignia. It has like the satanic whatever it is, like the marking that's there. It's the same necklace that the mom has. The thing that's written into the attic.
Yeah,
it's all over the place in this movie, and it's on that pole, and you're like, that's a weird thing to be on the pole. Why is the thing from her necklace on there? So then you go like, oh shit. So, okay, what happens? He's driving. She freaks out, needs to get some fresh air. He swerves because there's something in the road. I didn't pause it and see what that was this time, but I think it's a cat, like a dead animal.
It's a dead animal of some sort.
Yeah, and he swerves, and his sister's decapitated. And it's just heartbreaking, and this kid does such a good job. The camera basically doesn't cut. Once he slams on the brakes, and he just knows what he did, the camera doesn't cut. It's just a close up of his face, and he's just shaking, and it comes to the realization of like, I just killed my sister.
Yeah,
and a tear comes, and I mean the thing that got me on this one, all that ruined me. All that ruined me. But when he says, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I swear I teared up myself this time. I was like, no, it's so sad. It's so sad. However, let's get over this sadness and talk about how insanely brilliant is that. The pole's marked. Payman is the it's weird to say the god of mischief, but he's like the demon of mischief or whatever like that. He's like he's the mischief guy. So I go like,
he's just rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, he's just rock and roll. So it's like, did he in that moment do that because the pole was dedicated to him?
Yeah.
Or was it a thing where he revealed to the cult like, this will happen, so they put the dead thing
exactly
there?
Yes,
like that's the thing, and you don't know. There's no definitive thing where there's a flashback and you see them like dragging out a thing,
just naked, just dragging a thing.
Yeah, which would have been cool, but anyway. Yeah, so that helps me get over this scene quicker than last time for sure, because I was like, damn, how did that happen? Like, how was that orchestrated that she was decapitated?
It's been orchestrated in some way.
Somehow. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. And then Peter is just in such shock, like does the craziest thing ever and just drives home with his fucking sister's body just decapitated, just fucking headless, just drives home and parks it and goes to bed, man. And it's like, what? I remember that first time watching it, like, what the fuck did he just do? Like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And it's just Tony Collette the next morning. Hey, I'm gonna go down to the Piggly Wiggly. They have a
yeah, exactly.
They have a sale on pork feet or whatever she's talking about.
She's always talking about pork feet. Yeah. It's a common thing. She's like, all right, common theme in the movie. The movie starts with her. She's like, man, I'm gonna pickle all these pig feet. And her husband's like, again, we had that for dinner last night.
You're like crazy or something.
Yeah,
you're
bitch,
like
you're wild. Ugh. And she's like, Peter, you have pig feet on your nose, and he's like, huh? And he turns and there's a pig.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's the weirdest thing. And there's like accordion music. But no.
I'm glad he got a different editor. I will be honest.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Yeah, it's again, it's one of those things where like I was in a car accident a year or two ago, a very minor one, like very, very minor. and I was not hurt. I was fine. My car was totaled, but I was fine. I was totally fine. The second after that, like, because it happened in an intersection, and I had to get my car like over to the like across the way, and it was like barely running, like it was like limping, and I just I don't know. I might have even coasted. I really don't remember, but I got it across the intersection, and then I like walked to the corner where like people were, and the guy that hit me was. I like walked over there. And I remember like a cop was on the scene in like 2 seconds. He happened to be in the area, and like a cop was there, and everyone was like, yo, this guy was not at fault. Like everyone was like, had my back because a bunch of people saw it. And the cops like coming over to ask me a question, and I was like, yeah, and the cop was like, okay, listen, you need to take a deep breath. And I can picture myself watching it like out of body.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying nonsense to the cop because I'm like, just the jitters of like what just happened they're real, and it's crazy. So I had that in my head for some reason while I was watching that scene, and you see Peter, you go like, that's it. That's obviously I understand grief, but that's so irrational and that's crazy. But you're like, dude, he's a teenage kid who was just trying to have a fun night. And in a matter of seconds, like, feels super responsible for his sister, like, her airways closing up and potentially dying a horrible, tragic death where she suffocates. And then he decapitates her. So then he's like, fuck, life is over.
Yeah.
It's ruined for her, for me, everything.
For everyone.
Yeah, so you go like, it's nuts. And then, then you hear the worst scene ever committed to film is Toni Collette retching out sorrow for like 5 minutes solid.
For like 5 minutes solid of her at the car finding her in the living room just fucking collapsing into a heap, her fucking at the casket getting lowered into the ground.
I know. It's just constant.
It's just like one after another of just like the most believable grief I've ever seen committed to film.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we say, Meryl Streep, you suck.
You suck.
You're nothing compared to Toni Collette.
Not to get too personal, but like, I've lived through some tragedies recently. Kind of like Tony, where I had, my mom passed this year, and then right after that, like my brother passed. And that second one, like when my brother passed, like when I heard that, dude, I pulled a Toni Collette. Like I like crashed down on the ground, and like rewatching it this time around, I was like, yo, that is like real like shock grief of like just pure your heart literally being exploded and not knowing what to do with it. You make those sort of noises and like just awful things. And I'm sitting there like watching this. I'm like, man, like fuck this movie, dude. Like
exactly.
Why did I watch this again?
I know. I'm sorry.
It's the most believable thing I've ever seen, and it's Toni Collette. You should have got every single Oscar.
You should have.
Like every fucking thing. Music, composing.
Yeah.
I don't care what it was. Give it all to her.
Exactly.
Back up the truck, baby.
Yeah.
Back it up.
Wigs and makeup. Dude. You should have got that too. Then the next note I have is, Joan. Just Ann Dowd is incredible. Like her coming up. This snake in the grass that she plays where it's like, oh, I'm grieving too, and all these things, and it's all just like calculated to get this family to say the magic words, basically. Get them to do the seance thing, get them to say the magic words.
Just let it in.
Yeah, Payman's in there, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I had, I made that first note earlier, note to self. I have a second note to self.
Yeah.
Don't trust anyone who ever waves you down. They are definitely in a cult.
Absolutely.
If you ever see
Stay
anybody,
away.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I meant to say something to you.
Run them over.
Drive right through their face.
Drive right through them like you're running over a barbarian.
Yep, exactly.
Don't fuck around with that, guys. Cults are everywhere.
Yeah.
They are here, there, everywhere. And they are trying to get you to say those magic words Don't do it. That's why we don't do any more TikTok dances.
That's how
we got possessed.
I know, man.
Gene Wilder was everywhere for a little while, dude.
Gene Wilder was coming out of my eyes, and my every time I took a dump, it was Willy Wonka.
Yeah, Willy Wonka is just a world of pure imagination.
It was terrible. Don't ever do that. Anyway, yeah.
Which brings me to a seance. Our seance was way more fun.
Our seance was so much more fun.
Like, dude, it was just fun. It was great. He sang a song. Sure, he came out of your butt. Who doesn't, though?
Yeah, I know. That's a problem. I got to talk to my doctor.
Do weird men come out of your butt? See a doctor.
Yeah.
Get some Prilosec. Yeah.
That'll fix it right up.
Yeah, because there's... I don't know. I don't know. If I'm ever in a place, like, I don't believe in ghosts and shit like that, unless they're definitely hanging out and watching me as I'm sleeping in a hotel room.
Yeah, that's a given.
But, like, I don't, like, if I'm around and, like, chalk drawings and shit start happening, like, hey, fuck this. Like,
yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah. I mean,
no.
Right.
Hey, read the words. Oh, yeah, you can speak to him again. I'm good. I'm not welcoming any of this shit into my life. Oh,
yeah.
You just proved that there's this whole window.
Yeah.
I've seen Hellraiser. You start messing with that puzzle, I'm getting torn apart.
Yeah, it's like the metal hooks are coming.
Yeah.
As soon as you start seeing those types of things, you go, candles lighting themselves and all that. I loved Gabriel Byrne's, like, looking under the table.
Yeah.
He's just like, my wife is crazy, but she probably rigged up some cool shit under here. And it's like, oh, there's nothing. Oh, my.
I'm a fan of practical effects. How did she do?
How did she do this shit? Yeah, dude, same, man. For all the good that it would bring, where you're like, oh, there's definitely an afterlife and whatever. Like that's a blip. Exactly. It's just like no, that's not, you just run away from that.
Yeah.
Also, just so you all know, pandemonium is used like pandemonium is whoa, it's crazy and wild and nuts. Pandemonium is a place in hell, okay? It's I believe from the Inferno, from Dante's Inferno.
Oh, tight, dude.
Yeah, so if ever someone is like, yeah, just say this or write this on the wall.
Yeah, fuck it.
That's the tip-off. Just don't do that one.
Don't do that.
Be like, nah, we're good.
You know what, though? Now that you're saying Dante's Inferno and stuff, like, that'd be pretty fucking rock and roll, though,
It would be rock and roll,
dude,
baby.
That's the thing, man. You know us. Me and Gabe, we're rock and rollers to the end.
Rock and roll all day. What the hell are we doing?
Right. It's a visual medium now.
It is.
They gotta get that.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole scene is rad, and seeing how, like, Joan is, like, layering all this stuff in and just to get him to finally say the magic words, basically. It's like
Klaatu.
It's so Parata. Yeah. See all the Evil Dead movies, everybody.
Yeah.
Steve is such a good husband. He's so patient.
Yeah.
But he is just a shit. He is a shit dad.
He's a shit husband.
Yeah, he's good because he's patient. But like the dude needed to just go like, "All right, honey, I'm going to tranquilize you now."
Yeah.
And I'm going to have you committed. Also, son, run and live in the woods. Yeah. Go take your shoes off and live in the fucking woods. We're done. Don't look back for me. She's going to burn me at some point.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. This is, you know better. You're a shrink. You know these things.
He's like spineless because like he's doing his best to like try to keep the family together.
Yeah.
I'm cooking dinner. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Son, have you signed up for the SAT yet?
Right.
But also as a psychiatrist, like there's some major grief going on. Some things need to be talked about. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't want to get involved in it. And like,
yeah, it's weird.
There's this tension between mom and, the son, the instrument of your daughter's death. Like something needs to be done here, but he's just kind of, I'm doing my part. I've cooked dinner. I did the dishes or whatever.
Yeah. How does he not, have the family sit down and talk? He's a therapist.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like, talk through this. This is the most traumatic thing that anyone has ever lived through, ever. Talk to them.
No.
Have them speak to each other. No, yeah, he's spineless is the word.
Yeah.
He's spineless. Dude sucks. I'm glad he gets burned alive, which we'll talk about in a second. Yeah.
Oh, man. that ant and I call it the ant and fire dream of her waking up and just ants crawling out of her bed, and they're just all in Peter's mouth and everything.
Yeah.
Cuts to like, oh, she's awake now, and like her talking to Peter and like, I never wanted to be your mom, and like, all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
To them just dripping wet and then just like fire. Yeah. And it's like another dream within that dream.
Yes.
Fucking terrified. It's so fucking scary because at that point she's talked about how she's gone on sleepwalking things and woken up and like covered her kids in kerosene?
Paint thinner. Yeah. That Peter.
Yeah.
When he was little, she covered him in paint thinner, herself in paint thinner, and was standing there with a match, and striking the match is what woke her up. Yeah. And she tells the story as if she's a good mom for not dropping the match.
She would never light it. She would never light it.
Exactly. She says that, and it's like, that's when you go, oh man, I need to have myself committed for my children's sake.
I need to talk to somebody or do something about this.
Yeah, maybe your husband who's the therapist. Yeah. He's the shittiest therapist who's ever lived. There's never been a worse one. You know that stupid ass Peanuts cartoon?
Oh yeah,
the film strip.
Stupid ass.
Where it's the worst. Charles Peanut or whatever your name is. You suck.
Brought a Snoopy Joe Cool motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's Knott's Berry Farm.
That all sucks too. Knott's Berry Farm's fun. Anyway, so when Lucy has her sign out front and it's like 5 cents for a psychic reading or whatever. I think that's it. I don't.
And you're right. You're absolutely right.
I remember the Great Pumpkin, and I think she's like, "Oh, I'll tell your fortune for $5, you piece of shit," something like that.
Hey, fuck you, Charlie Brown. Yeah, I remember that one. It's
great. Where she's just like,
eat this
put
fucking
my finger up your ass, you piece of shit.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's the one. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, or the Christmas one, maybe. She is a better psychiatrist than Steve.
Yeah.
Steve Hereditary, okay?
I've never trusted the guy ever since Cool World. He tried to fuck that cartoon,
and
now he's fucking up this family.
That is true. Once a guy, listen, we've all been attracted to a cartoon at one point of our life.
We never tried to fuck it, though.
Never once have we tried to fuck it. So
He did.
Is
that Kim Basinger?
It was Kim Basinger. And if you are going to fuck a cartoon,
maybe
that's the one to do
it. Stupid.
Very, very stupid. Yeah.
Dude, she's back at Joan's place. She's trying to get in.
Yeah.
She's kind of connecting the dots a little bit, I think, at that point. That reveal when it just pulls back in Joan's apartment and all the candles are lit and it just goes to, like, the center table and fucking Peter's
picture with the carved triangle, just like in the bedroom.
Yeah, and you're just like, fuck!
Yeah.
What is this movie?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, and Joan's gone, and you're like, what devious things are they up to? Like, this is gnarly. And the movie then is on this like roller coaster pace for the next 30 minutes, and I don't mean like it's fast and crazy, but I feel like the part of the roller coaster where you're going up and you feel that like click 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 taking you to the top. Yes, that nonsense.
Yeah.
All the way up to the top where you're just like, oh, because then that thing hits. And then it's the reveal where she like runs home and opens up the same box that had the creepy ass note from her mom. She opens that up and she's like, I'm going to look. And then she sees Joan in like every picture.
Yep.
And it all hits. It comes together. She's like, oh, shit. Joan is part of this. This is my mom's stuff. Boom. And that's when, it goes completely off the rails. Completely off the rails. That's when she
goes
sees
up in the attic. And
yeah, she goes up in the attic. She sees her mom's body has been placed there.
Fucking hell.
Exactly. It's terrifying. And
you get Steve there. Steve is talking to her and at this point you're like, is she crazy? Like, has she done this shit, you know?
Yeah, is she the one? Yeah, exactly.
Because Steve's still kind of there as like this tie to like reality a little bit where he's just like, you're a crazy person. You're the one who dug up the grave. That's where you've been going at night and everything. You're like, fuck, dude. Okay, whoa, that's what's been going. Okay,
yeah, and
maybe.
You're like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it does. She's a crazy person.
She's a crazy person.
Yeah.
But no.
No.
She
is crazy, full stop. But it wasn't her.
You just got caught on fire, dude.
Yeah.
There's some other shit going on.
I know. It is insane. And It's in, I think, the trailer. It's definitely like, the screen grabs, all that. Like Steve being like burning alive.
Yeah.
And her screaming, and then the screaming stops. Her whole countenance changes, and she's just like, "Yep." Like
just his eyes just like go weird and dead almost, and it's just like, Toni Collette's so good. Just
I know
those looks she gives, and it's just
so good.
Yeah,
and you go, okay, what happened? Did she hit like a grief maximum? And she can't handle anymore, so she just like checked out. Like is she blacked out but alive, or what's going on?
Yeah.
No, my friend, she was possessed.
She's got possession in her now.
Exactly, because who do we see lurking in the fucking shadows now?
Man.
The best jump scare in the whole movie
is Peter comes home after breaking his own nose. I forgot to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Peter smashes his own face.
Dude, and that scene is amazing because all it is just him, like, holding his hand up, and he's, like, in a weird, like, oh, is the kid having a stroke? Or, like, like, what is going on? And he just slams his face against the table.
Yeah, he's, like, he's completely, like, the possession is starting for him, and he can't control himself. And and it's, like, that is brilliant. The kid does such a great job. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Yeah. Damn it. It's so good. But then we see in the house, we see Payman. He's naked and he's staring, and then he runs at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. Anyway, I have. You don't have any more notes?
The last little bit, I was just after when he after he wakes up and Toni Collette's just up in the rafters, like running around like fucking Spider-Man or floating around. I don't even fucking know.
She's floating and has a one of those portable chainsaws. And she's going back and forth, cutting her own head off while she's alive. It's insane. It's something I've never seen before. It's insane. And then he jumps out. I will say, all these beats back and forth, gnarly craziness, where the kid he jumps out the window, and you're like, okay, he died.
Yeah.
He's dead, and now Payman has like taken over him. When you see, it is the funniest scene in the whole movie. When you see headless Toni Collette's body like flying and go like whoop, like into the little treehouse.
That's the only thing that's silly in this movie.
It is. It's very silly. It's like you didn't need that.
Yeah.
You didn't need that at all. They could have just had the lights off and then the lights come on, and that would have been enough to drag the kid to the thing, because he's Payman at this point. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go check stuff out. But then we're in the treehouse, and everyone's heads are off, and the naked worshipers. But it ends with the miniature.
Oh yeah.
Of that scene. It ends with, it pulls out, and it's the miniature of that scene. To which I was like, did any of this really happen?
Yeah.
Is all this just like Toni Collette is a crazy person legitimately, and she's telling the story through these things. There's no family, there's no nothing. It's neat. It's awesome. And it's
fantastic.
But it ends and you're like, this sucks.
This fucking sucks. This fucking movie. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's a masterwork.
But man, fuck this movie, dude.
Andy, are you gonna let your kid watch it?
Oh, I already let him watch it.
Oh, true. You're right, actually. Your kid, it was his first movie. He probably watched.
Technically, yeah. No, I will. Do I let him watch this?
Remember, the question is, will you let your kid watch this? Not, are you okay with them stumbling upon it or whatever like that? But
no,
are you going to show your kid
I am not
this?
going to show my kid this movie.
Right,
There's no way in fuck, man. This movie.
Good. That's the trick question. Because if you would have said yes, I call Child Protective Services on you right now. Like,
you burn this book, Gabe.
Yeah.
Throw it in the fire right now. I need you to do it.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. This movie is great. If he's super into art stuff or whatever, and he's fucking 35 years old, and I'm like, hey, you haven't seen this yet? Put this on. Make sure you're holding your son at the time. Put it on now. But no, man, like, there's no way in fuck, man. This movie's awful.
No.
It's great, but it's awful. It's heartbreaking in the most real ways. It's scary in a deeply spiritual and personal way. It's fucked up, man.
Yeah. I
if
agree.
he stumbles upon it with a bunch of friends and they're all like, I don't know, you're hanging out with all your weird A24 friends like you do in high school. Oh, we gotta watch these indie movies.
Movies.
Gotta put it on. Then go watch it and be scared. But don't bring that shit ever around me. Gabriel, what about the kiddos?
No, no, I won't. I will keep. That's my duty. I need to, like, you're gonna keep your wife away from this movie. I'm gonna keep my kids away from this movie. This movie is a masterwork. However, I feel like there are movies that are just as masterful. Actually, I don't feel. I know this. There are movies that are just as masterfully done, and they're not bummers. They're not terrible that make you feel terrible. This movie is the transference of very real grief.
Yes.
You're watching a thing, and like by virtue of watching this, like grief comes into you, and whatever grief you've had, you talked pretty candidly a second ago about your mother and brother. You know, like whatever grief you have or fears you have of losing someone or a child or any of these things. It's like manifest in that moment, and
that's
it's
the truth.
And it's just sucks. That's why I say it's the most effective horror movie I've ever experienced.
Yes,
effective. You know, like where you're just like, oh, like it's just painful. So no, I'm not showing my children this. I'm not telling them about it. No, no. I told my wife for the rewatch. I'm like, yeah, we're doing this, and she's like, I don't think you've ever said anything about that movie before. I'm like, I have not, my love, and I won't. I won't tell you anything about it. Have a nice night.
Just
I'm going to go record this shit with Andy.
Don't listen to this episode
exactly. Ever. All right, there we go. We're not letting the kids watch it. We rewatched it. It's brilliance, but you don't need this grief. You don't. Go watch something else.
Go watch, I don't know. Go watch Jason X. Go watch Jason X right now. It sucks in a much different way, but fuck, it's fun.
Yeah.
Go watch that right now.
Go do it.
But before that, Gabe, do you have any recommendations?
I do, Andy. I have to recommend. So our former guest, Mr. Chris Ray, who's an incredible filmmaker, does really bitch and skate videos. Yeah, exactly. We didn't have enough gestures in this one for videos.
It was a very serious episode.
Very serious. So serious. Chris has a company called Motion Clubhouse, and they've got an Instagram, they've got a webpage, they've got a YouTube channel. It's basically like the official home for all of his rad stuff, and he is absolutely branching out from the skate stuff. Well, he did other stuff before too, but Motion Clubhouse has a bunch of big clients like JBL and like the NFL. They just did a thing for like the NFL. They're doing cool, like really fun videos. Motion Clubhouse, check them out.
Dude, that sounds great.
That's what I'm recommending.
Dude, yes, get it.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Andy? What can you possibly recommend?
Guys, so I think it was last week's episode. There's an episode a couple weeks ago where I mentioned a great hack, and people have been texting me. People have been emailing me, asking, like, wait a minute, is that really a thing? Here's the move. You can go to McDonald's and order a Big Mac, all right? That thing's like $5.
Yeah.
It's not the move. Here's what you really do.
Okay.
You go and you order a McDouble. Here's how you order. You go and order a McDouble.
The McDouble, isn't that the thing that Frankenstein's always trying to get? That's what you said on the episode.
Yeah. He's trying to get it. Every time he's trying to get that McDouble.
Yeah.
So you go and order a McDouble. You order it no ketchup, no mustard. Instead, Mac sauce. So now what you got is essentially a Big Mac without that stupid middle bun, and it's just more meat and more cheese on the regular McDonald's buns. Best thing is, during the weekday, McDoubles are 2 for $3. So boom, you essentially just got yourself 2 Big Macs for $3. That's the move. You guys have been texting me nonstop about this. McDouble, no ketchup and mustard, add Mac sauce. They can add Mac sauce to anything. It's great. Put it on fucking everything, you guys. Mac sauce.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation this week, baby.
Man,
they don't need it, but I'm giving it.
You know what?
Boom!
For all the grief that we had, now we have joy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. That's beautiful.
Thank you, man.
I think now we just got to get out of this
I gotta
one.
get the fuck out of here. I gotta get out of this room. There's ghosts everywhere. You keep looking, Gabe. I am fucking scared. You keep looking like behind me, and I keep going like,
I'm looking at. Yeah, I've seen you look behind you a few times. I'm looking at you, dude. I'm sorry.
You are not looking at me.
I've got a lazy eye.
Looking at this old woman behind me or something, and it's creeping me out. Ah!
I'm sorry. I'm probably admiring the globe or the guitar or something over there.
I don't know what it is, but I keep seeing you go why are you looking behind me? I'm gonna turn around, just old lady there.
Hey, I'm a bug.
Hey, I'm a fucking bug. Do you know he's Dutch?
Listen to our Starship Troopers episode. You will have a good time.
Follow
Andy,
us on everything.
Follow us.
Yeah, follow us everywhere.
Yeah, you guys are watching the thing. You're listening to it. Thank you. We love you. We're Who Let You Pod on basically every platform, so check it out. And tell your friends.
Yeah.
Andy, you want to get us out of here?
Yeah, you guys. This is Andy and Gabe. We're reminding you guys to just never watch anything in front of a child. And just don't watch Hereditary. All right, guys, have a good night.
Night.
You've just heard a Doomsday Initiative podcast. Consult a physician.